Hello class, so I am Elizabeth Joy Serrano Quijano. I am handling your contemporary world subject. So, contemporary world, as I have read your essays, I think you already have ideas on what is the contemporary world. So, from its definition, contemporary means modern. And when we say modern, this is related to globalization. Okay, so basically, all of our topics and lessons will be around globalization. We'll be dealing much with globalization. So according to OMAE, OHMAE, OMAE, in 1992, that globalization is the onset of borderless world. So meaning wala na siya'y harang or borderless, BORDER. Borderless world is the onset of borderless world. According to Poppy, POPPI, Poppy, in 1997, that globalization is the debate, and the debate is globalization. So it means up until this day, globalization is currently being defined by experts and scholars. So unsa man yun ning globalization? Ano siya atong estudyohan o ato ang pag-aralan in contemporary world. So there are a lot of definitions of globalization. So this word globalization appeared in the dictionary in 1961. Okay, so 1960s pa na conceptualize ang word na globalization. So let us also discuss the metaphors o metapora of globalization. So we have solid and liquid. So solid and liquid, like solidity. Okay, solidity in globalization, it refers to barriers that prevent or make difficult the movement of things. It can be natural or man-made. So, man na siyang solidity. So, solid metaphor of globalization. For example, the Great Wall of China, that is a solid border, di ba? So, and that is also man-made. And also, naputay mga natural borders. Just like natay territory, di ba? Natay territory sa kahanginan, air, natay territory sa land, ang Philippines, naputay territory sa sea, which is a very controversial, no, ang West Philippine Sea. So, mo na siyang isa sa solid representation of globalization, that we are bounded, meaning limitado ta to cross other countries because of this solidity. Ginatawag na to nga solidity. So, nagapalisod siya sa movement. Of course, we cannot just travel to any place or to any country without passport or visa. So, that is a representation of an example of solidity. So, it can be natural. So, our borders, natural man jud nga separated ang Philippines from the rest, from other countries because of the seas, no? Dagat, gihiwalay ta. Pinaagi sa dagat. So, naay boundaries, naay territories, or naay borders. So, that is solidity. Okay? So, it can be man-made or natural. Then, liquid. Okay. So, liquidity refers to the ease of movement of people, things, information, and places in the contemporary world. Okay, so according to Bauman's B-A-U-M-A-N, ideas, Liquidity, we're the ones that have much to say about the characteristic of liquidity. Okay, first, today's liquid phenomena change quickly, and their aspects, spatial and temporal, are in continuous fluctuation. This means that space and time are crucial elements of globalization. In global finance, for instance, changes in the stock market are matter of seconds. Another characteristic of liquid phenomena is that their movement is difficult to stop. Okay, for example, videos uploaded on YouTube or Facebook are unstoppable once they become viral. So liquidity again is the ease of movement of people, things, information, and places. So kung ang solidity na siya barrier, 'di ba? So ang solidity metaphors of globalization ha. So metaphors of globalization. So naatay two types, the solid and the liquid. Ang solid, it makes things or the movement of things difficult because it is a barrier. So na man-made, na ay natural, so that is solidity. Then sa liquidity, mo na siya ang process nga nagapadali sa movement of people. So kung sa unang panahon, dugay kay makaabot sa Malita or in Davao Occidental mo sa kay patag cheap, but karon as we can observe na van, na bus, mas dali ang mode of transportation. Mas dali pud ang communication. Sa unang panahon, dugay kay maabot ang mensahe nga namatay na si Sinong Undo dito sa Cebu kay ila pang gitelegrama pag-abot diri sa mensahe pag-abot diri sa mensahe nalubong na Sinong Undo dito sa Cebu, so kay giagi pag telegram. But now look at Facebook, it is also murag ang Facebook nahimo na siyang obituary, no, kanang dito na nato mahibaw-an kung kinsa ang mga namatay. So ingon ana nakapaspas ang information, so just like the example mao na siya ang liquidity. So kung si solid nagapa-difficult siya sa movement, ang liquidity mo na siya ang dali na lang kaayo siya. Dagan kayo tag mga examples na mahatag ana, I'm sure. Labi na if mangutan na sa ato ang parents compared before sa pangwarta. Lisod kayo mangwarta before. But today, with the onset of online business, mga online teaching, daghan na kayo pwede mapangwartahan because of online na mga opportunities. No? And of course, information, dali ra kaayo with just one click. Pwede na nato may bawaan kung saan nahitabo sa Manila or anywhere in the world. So, no, sa unang panahon wala jud ta kabalon sa mga events, mga ganap sa in other parts of the world. But today, because of YouTube, Facebook, and other social media platforms, we are already we can be updated of what is happening in the world. And that is referring to liquidity in globalization. In flows naman, flows are movement of people, things, places, and information brought by the growing porosity of global limitations, according to Ritzer 2015. Ritzer, R-I-T-Z-E-R, Ritzer 2015. Okay, so flows, kung naapot sila similarity ni liquidity, no, kay flow mangyapon ng liquid. So si flows, F-L-O-W-S, ba si flows nga F-L-A inyo, F-L-O-W, flow meaning daloy. Si flows daw refer to the movement of people, things, places, and information brought by growing porosity of global limitations. So, sa man ang porosity. So, tanaw ta mag-dictionary. So, porosity, P-O-R-O-S-I-T-Y. So, porosity of global limitations. So, for example, no, dili na nato kailangan, we don't need to go to Korea, or South Korea, just to experience Korean food, because there are a lot of Korean restaurants here in the Philippines. And we don't need to go to Japan. Of course, here in Malita, we have Japanese restaurant. And also, ingon ana ba, ang nahitabo is, murag, the world is being brought to us already. Okay? So, murag, dili na kailangan mag-travel, baka og ing-adto kalayo ang mga places just to experience their culture, just to experience or taste their food because of the flow of globalization. 'Di ba? Murag bisan ganig mga Korean traditional dress, pwede na natong masuot in some of the Korean restaurants. 'Di ba? Na nasa Ligos gani, pwede ka magsuot atong Korean dress. So, and even our choice of music, no, kanang masyado na tayong one with the world. Kung unsa ang trending sa US and Korea and other places, mapod siya mostly ang trending diri sa Philippines. So nakita ninyo, can you imagine that the world is going in one direction because of globalization. So man na siya ang flow. That is now the direction of the world. One na lang ang culture, manay lang gusto, di ba? One na lang ang ato ang monetary, ato ang ato ang mga kwarta, monetization, monetary values. So, isa na lang. And so man to, ang metaphors of globalization can be summarized into solid, liquid, and flow. Okay. So, now let us proceed to theories. Okay, so ako na lang na siya i-summarize for you para napod mo ma-review for discussion. Mas ako na lang siyang ipadali para sa inyo ha. Because dali lang man yun ni siya sabton ang globalization, di ba? Because we are all living in the contemporary world, and I'm sure that we can all relate to everything that is happening. Kamo, labi na kamo because you are the young generation and kasabot jud mo dapat aning globalization. And why is it even relevant to you? Because in the future, you need to understand the world that you're living in, di ba? Nagpuyo ka diri na kalibutan and then you don't understand what is happening. Okay, so you are a student but you don't know how to send an email. You are a student but you don't understand globalization, modernization. So, useful gyapon siya. This is a very useful course because how can you understand others? How can you understand the current events if you do not understand the globalization? Because mo naman yun siya ang direction of our world. It's globalization. So, mabot siguro ang panahon nga di na kailangan og visa, di na kailangan og passport, free na tanan, pwede na tamo adto bisag asa. So that can be possible through globalization. One world, one money, one taste, one culture. Sana lang tanan. Okay, so but before that is so futuristic and that is just a theory. So, but before that, let us first discuss globalization theories. So, kung dagan kayo og definitions ang globalization, we also have theories. First is homogeneity. 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 It refers to the increasing sameness in the world as cultural inputs, economic factors, and political orientations of societies expand to create common practices, same economies, and similar forms of government. Okay. So, homogeneity is in culture is often linked to cultural imperialism. So, homogeneity from the word homogeneous, meaning isa na lang. So, sama sa akong giingon ganina, nanatay sameness in the world, di ba? Kung unsa gani ang nag-trend in the world trends, sa fashion, sa music. So, most probably, kabalo po ta diri ana sa Pilipinas because of the speed of information. So, makabalitaon sa uso sa US, unsa trending sa billboard, sa music, then makabalo po ta kinsang pinaka-hit na banda, kinsa ang pinaka-hit na artista, pinaka-top na artista, unsa pinaka-number 1 na movie. So, mao na siya ang gina-refer sa theory nga homogeneity, meaning ang tibok do kalibutan isa na siya og isa na og taste, isa na iyahang gusto. Even 'di ba kanang sa movie mapansin ninyo kung kinsa nang number one sa Hollywood, mag number one po siya diri sa Philippines. But yeah, that is also called cultural imperialism. So kinsa ba ang pinaka influential na country sa Pilipinas? Isa ba ang naghahatag og influence sa ato? Before, it was US man jud no, kung kisa sikat sa US, mao po siya sa Philippines, mga Britney Spears, Madonna, Mariah, J-Lo, and now nag-shift ang trend because naging mas sikat na ang South Korean. So that's why we have K-pop. So na Korean invasion, worldwide Korean invasion. So even not only in the Philippines but I think worldwide jud ang influence put sa Korean pop industry. So K-pop or K-pop music. Dili lang pud sa music but as well as in fashion and food. Okay, so mo na siya ang ginapasabot sa homogeneity that it refers to the increasing sameness in the world. So nagkapare-pareha na halos og gusto ang matag country. Then I think it's also because of the media, no? Kanang dali ra jud kayo, and because of the speed of information. The next is wala na siyang i-run through. So paspasan lang nato ha. But I will still give you the module. Okay, next is heterogeneity. Kung si homogeneity is about the increasing sameness of in the world in cultural inputs, si heterogeneity is the opposite of homogeneity. It pertains to the creation of various cultural practices, new economies, and political groups because of the interaction of elements from different societies in the world. Heterogeneity refers to the differences because of either lasting differences of the hybrids or combinations of cultures that can be produced through the different transplanetary processes. Maragisod kayo ito siya sabta, no? So, heterogeneity. Si hetero, lahi siya sa homogeneity. Yes, of course. Si hetero meaning lahi-lahi. One example of that is, dili man daw, tinuod nga, nag-same na ta sa ubang country or isa na lang ang gusto sa tibuok kalibutan nga pare-pareho na yun tatanan countries. Ang si heterogeneity nagtuo siya na ang culture lahi-lahi gyud gihapon, magpabiling gyud gihapon na siya. Like for example, natay ginatawag karon na globalization, global nga lokal. Okay? So mo na siyang term na globalization. Okay? So kaning local for example sa example okay, so heterogeneity gives us an idea na dili pag totally homogeneous ang effect no sa globalization. Okay, so naagi hapoy nagpabilin sa atoa na tinuod man po, dili pa man jud siya totally. Hinapa magay ubang area sa Philippines nga wala pa po naapektuhan anang globalization. Wala pa sila kabalong sa ng K-pop, but wala pa sila kabalong like kakaon unsa ng McDo, o pareha ng McDo gidala man na diri sa ubang country sa atua. So that is an example of flows, no, globalization na ang ato ang mga taste panglasa sa una mga Pinoy ganahan magtanan dapat na mga gulay kay man ang daghan diri lauoy, pinakbet, but because of globalization nausab ang atong panlasa. So ganahan natag burger, fries, and these foods are not from the Philippines. So these are from foreign countries. Okay, so the dynamics of local and global culture. Okay, so nasabtan ba si homogeneity and heterogeneity? Si homogeneity, increasing sameness, pareho. Si heterogeneity is creation of various cultural practices, new economies, and political groups. So, different cultures, different groups. Mana siya si heterogeneity. Then we also have this process of McDonaldization. Okay. McDonaldization. Sama sa akong gingon ganina, nganong unsa ning McDonaldization? Um, McDonaldization involves the global spread of rational systems such as efficiency, calculability, predictability, and control. According to Ritzer, in 2008, it extended to business sectors and geographic areas. Okay, so McDonaldization. Okay, just like unsa ba ma-observe na to sa McDonald's or fast food. Diba? Everything is fast food. Everything is instant, diba? Ang atong food. So, mo na siya ang isa sa mga concepts of globalization that we are now living in a fast-paced world. Paspas na kayo tanan. Sa McDo, gani, malate lang. Within 15 to 30 minutes, dapat na mong order. So, ang food sa unang panahon, dugay kayo ang process, dugay kayo lutuon even sa atong mga balay. But if you go to fast foods, you just, okay, number 327, nanay mo ang order. Gusto ko patag madugay, di ba? So, ingon na nakadali. So, ilan ang gitawag og McDonaldization. Even our lihok, even our action as human beings, ginakalculate na, di ba? Ang pagpanerbaho sa mga hamtong, the adults 8 to 5, dapat nakaingon aning output nakaingon aning mahimo masubmit dayon aning time. So it's calculated na tanan ang atong lihok. So daghan na kayog instant, kay nagdali man ta, kay inihap man natong oras because gusto man to dali ra tanan, information, action, dali tanan. So nagdali man ta, kay ang asta pud ang atong food instant noodles, instant coffee. So na I know that you are all I know that you are aware of that things, no? And unsa man nato mabala ng instant death food because of eating not healthy food. Mo na siya ngang nakatatak na sa new generation. When it comes to globalization, we want everything to be fast, we want everything to be instant, no, wala na tong values of patience. Gusto na to pag makachat na dayo reply dayon, pag dili gani ka reply, away dayon. Or gusto mo na to naa dayon, no? That is now the culture that we are witnessing or that we are living. Report dayon sa tulfo pag walay action. Ang government. So, ingon na lang. So, that is a lesson for today. I hope that you learned something. So, until next session, welcome to my blog. Okay, so I hope that you learned something today. In next video, I will be discussing more. And I hope that you will be commenting at the comment section, no? If ever you have questions or clarifications. So this video is only a backup. At least namoy masabtan gamay. Makabalo jud mo sa ng globalization, homogeneity, heterogeneity, no? At the end of the lesson or at the end of the semester, at least namoy ma-recall. Thank you so much. Goodbye.